Subbase through for map number 4, which has not been great for them. So you're looking at that rotation percentage. That has to be key for them in this series overall.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the last time we casted Boston, I ended the series on a bold statement. Like, they're probably not going to find a lot of success until they figure out the teamwork aspect. And there's nothing better to do it than on Rio. So it's all about the SMG setting that tone off the rip. They're going to be the team initially in it. And you can already see with LED spawning on not the preferred side. They're just going to wait for those nades to come in before they decide to break.
And you got to remember that it was Shawnee who was the top kill leader and damage dealer last time Boston played this map as a main AR. You cannot have that happen if you're a Boston fan. Opening start, decent, but Thieves battle back off their second lives, and it will be an immediate break onto P1.
And now with only 25 seconds remaining, Boston Breach have to work their way back on into this hill. Pentagram is going to fall, but now you're still in a man disadvantage, and LAT are taking full advantage of this situation because you already have players off the rotation over towards next, but they still know that Boston Breach are not going to give up all this time for free. A double comes in, a potential break for Boston. You just got to take care of Joey D.
Yeah, absolutely the case. Nasty, good coverage over the top, able to confirm the trade and at least stabilize this right side of the minimap for the Thieves. Nice follow-up from Kremp, reinforcing that front line. So Ghosty will get to work on rotation through gate, make his way into the hard point, and this setup for Breach trying to break through has found absolutely nothing. Nasty off to an easy start. 4-2, eventually shut down by Snoopy.
Yeah, Snoopy's able to find a double, potentially open up that front avenue for Boston Breach to put pressure on the hill. Pentagram's able to win a one-on-one, so the break is in shortly, but the spawns are still going to be here for LAT. You just have to win a couple fights. Joey D flies in with 2 out of the rival 9, trying to make it 3, potentially the 4th, as Priest is just simply staying down, wait for his teammates to get nearer.
This is not what you want to see if you're a Boston Breach fan. One of the keys that we looked at when it came to their hard point was, simply put, it never really felt like they had an identity.
Yeah.
Wait for each other. Try to get something set up. Know when we need to chalk and rotate. And it looks like they're actually kind of maybe reinforcing that point here, as it'll just be Beans holding off the exit while everyone else gets to work setting themselves up for P3 for the Breach.
Yeah, you just got to make sure your fundamentals are in play from the beginning of this game. You cannot put yourself in a position to play catch up going forward as the score gets deeper. But Beans with the cutoff man is able to find one. Pentagram still applying pressure over towards O, knowing that his teammates have the spawns for next. But now this is where they have to show improvement because you're fully set up for this P3 hill. You're 11th in holds. You have to execute this first set of kills.
Ghosty trying to put pressure over through boxes. Little battle with Snoopy. Pistol out. Here comes the slide forward. Both players primed to take the fight, and it will be Boston with the opening first blood. But from the front, lots of question marks in terms of where this hit's coming from for Boston. They deal with it largely, but Nasty, last one standing, can only find one of the needed 2. And here we go. Snoopy on 5. Boston holding strong.
He's 12-6 already. Like, he has more kills than his entire team combined. This guy has been going absolutely nuts. All of Major 3 qualifiers. Unfortunately, could not earn himself that cruise missile as all of LA apply pressure over through the street side, find 3 kills in a row. And now Boston Breach spawn all the way out, but at least they get some good time here at P3. Now you just have to make it count again off the rotation to P4.
Just one of those situations, you have to be good at the hold setup, larger than just the first 30, especially against the Thieves team, which ranks #1 in the Major 3 qualifiers in breaking. Now over towards the new hill. Pentagram, pistol out, trying to survive as long as humanly possible. Snoopy providing a little bit of support, but not enough to keep Boston in the hard point. 50-50 gunfights all across the hill.
Oh, Snoopy is at least able to fly in and find one, but it's still LAT in control of the hard point. Now you're getting a little bit of a split spawn, and the teammates who are on the hill are winning their gunfights and now have the info that we just simply have to turn around. Boston Breach now trying to rally the troops, trying to figure out a way on in. Snoopy does it by himself over towards boxes. That's a free death. You cannot afford to die in that kind of situation.
And this is the thing, is Boston, their SMGs are really kind of keeping them into the game right now, but Priest 0-9 start. Beans just on 3 as well, and this is just so paradoxical from what we saw last time Boston played this map, where it was Shawnee with the AR getting all the work done. Now it's nothing but the SMGs.
Yeah, and I was really excited to see the battle between Ghosty and Beans, because you know how much of a takeover mode that they can apply with that AR in hands. But Ghosty has so far answered the call. Beans has yet to wake up, as they're currently down by 50 points, but you're winning a gunfight off the rotation to set your teammates up for the next hill. You just got to set up and get some much needed time.
Have to find some way to get together here. Beans, good long-range battle. Snoopy trying to sniff out this pinch and gets there to trade out Kremp quickly. Does he have an idea on the second? Little broken camera moment, but Joe Deceive still gets traded away, and Boston can stay alive on the hard point. But Priesta 0-10. What is going on with him?
Yeah, he's got to be looking left to right now, saying like, you guys are simply doing it all. Eventually, I will pick it up.
There he is.
It's still a 30-point game. He's actually able to put one on the board, make it 2 in a row. He's a world champion for a reason. One hell of a talented Call of Duty player. It's only a matter of moments before he starts to shine. That's 4 in a row for Priesta.
And And you've got Beans on 5. So just when the ARs needed to start showing us something, boy, do they provide it. 99-83, currently the tally, as Thieves try to put their rotation in towards P1. It's met, though, by Beans and Pentagram. Lots of damage already tallied. Beans trying to get away to try to get this cruise missile earned, but shut down. Boston good for the scrap, but Thieves with numbers over the top of the new hill.
Now it's basically a tie game if you walk with this remaining time over towards bridge, but Snoopy now knows that he's not going to catch any timing through that mid-bridge area. You have to work this deep pinch while his teammates are finding kills up through the middle of the map. There's a pinch coming in from Pentagram, a pinch coming in from Snoopy. Now it's a 2-on-1 on the point.
The SMGs are literally playing some of their best COD, it looks like, right now. Opportunity for a lead switch to come through. Clean kill feed for Boston. Thieves bit split spawn, trying to find a way to get this back together and maybe even have a chance not just to break the hard point, but hopefully keep Kremp alive here on the backside of the hill to get the rotation win. But Boston continue to win the gunfights, and now they're starting to build a bit of a gap.
Yeah, now that's 3 dead in defeat. The only thing is they do not have the spawns over towards the next hill. So you can already see Beans taking a lot of ground off the rotation. And that spawn is now going to come in for Pentagram. So great job right there from Boston to secure those back spawns. But now you have to be ready for the push from LA because they're all already going to be in your face.
Yeah, shoes on the other foot here. Do Thieves get the read that Boston got a bit of a scattered spawn behind them? So far, mostly red, but Snoopy does work his way in. 23 and 13, but can't find the 24th. Pentagram still keeping his life backside gate. Thieves still spawning out, and there's a chance here where Boston, again, can get themselves set up.
And now you just got to put someone in towards the hill. It's going to be a tie game. The pressure's coming in through the backside. Snoopy gets the info, is only able to take down 1. So now it's going to fall into the hands of Beans, who now turns into the only man here for Boston Breach. Everyone else is going to drop, and there's no way in hell LA are going to be able to read this route coming in from Beans, so you have to make a play here for your team.
It's a late spawn, though, from Snoopy, so he's really not a part of this play at the moment. It is just down to Beans, and he will find 2. Snoopy steps in to find the 3rd, and Ghosty finds himself way too far outside the hardpoint. Spawns continue to move around, though. Boston, do they get a read? That again, Thieves will spawn behind. Can they pull off what FaZe Large to do, which is hold this from the front? And no, they're not able to this time. Scrap 18 seconds going the way of the Thieves.
Yeah, 15 seconds going to go in favor of LA. They're going to take the lead by a little bit again, but now this is where Boston have to make up for it with a great P3 hold. Fortunate death right there from Pentagram is now going to put him in position to spawn all the way across the map, and at least the teammates are rallying a couple kills together, but the back spawns for the LA teams are in. I don't know if Boston are going to read it.
Beans just a little bit too late. Kremp, who's had a slow second rotation to this point, able to win the 1v1. Extra opportunity as Nasty has Priesta kind of at bay at the moment, as Boston finding the kills coming through, and on this break attempt, the perfect time to go to a breach. Listen in.
Can we back that maybe? Yeah. No. I'm picking up right. Listen, I'm going mid left. I have right side mid. Right side mid. Joe, watch out mid. Joseph, watch out mid. I'm watch out. They're gonna all play left. Joe, I can play you left. I can play you left. Just look at music. I can't. I'm just on the push. Making sure they don't go right. Left. Weak. I'm 6 steps. I'm trying. Two. One more. Nice. I have help. Go now. I'll play left. I'll hold left. Yeah, they're gonna hit this. Yeah, they're gonna hit that. I'll play kill here. Yeah, I'll play. He's ramp. Shoot. I have bridge, okay? One more. There's nothing left there, because they're mid right.
He went like
take a deep left route. Yeah, I'm taking a route.
Deep left route.
Okay, Listen, I'm taking a left, okay?
Everyone together. We're gonna double jump
I'm about to show him. You ready?
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Take your time, guys. Take your time.
Take your time, bro.
I'm behind him. Do that.
One more.
Joe's push up.
Falcon time. One.
Joe's push up. Yo, he's under flowers. I'm staying live. I'm playing my P2 light. P2. Watch out. Alright, one's gate. This is big time. We're good.
I don't see him.
I'm coming to you guys. Slow down. Slow down. Other van, dead. Nice. Garage.
Yeah, garage.
Last one, ramp. Watch out. You can tell him. They might spawn behind you, right?
They're spawning P2. Okay,
I spawn boxes. One might be garage.
No. They're all front.
I have your help.
I have your help.
I'm still on a plat.
Native plat.
I have plat. Yeah, he's weak.
Nated. I have plat.
I got one. I still have your plat.
Hummer.
Dead. Nice. That's 3. I'm gonna go new. 2v1.
Pretty go. Joe.
I have a mid.
One native me from half off.
Hope it. Yeah, he's in front of me. He knows I'm here. I'm stunning. Yo, double charm mid. I'll come back to you. Team 2.
Well, the comm's starting to sound a lot better for Boston, trying to get things set up. You hear the 3-2-1 go call. A couple of messy moments within it, and as we rotate over towards the bridge hardpoint, Thieves do find a chance to break early, get themselves set up for some much-needed time.
Yeah, they're only down by 30 points. It's still a very close game. LAT, they definitely want that P4 back because you found the initial kills. You just couldn't lead to the next set of kills because a team kill came in a couple times there for LA. But so far, this has been a great hold here at Bridge. Boston have not been able to sniff even close towards this hard point. Now only a 15-point difference.
And really, it's been the Joe Deceive show matched with Ghosty. Both players positive with a lot of hill time. But if Kremp could get going here late, you think that may be win condition for the side of LA Thieves. Back over towards the top at P1. Boston, a couple of good kills come through, but Kremp is starting to light things up. 4 to run before being shut down by Beans. Trade starting to come through, and we've got ourselves a tie game looking over to P1.
Yeah, this is due to be a photo finish. Wouldn't expect it to be anything else but between these two teams. As we find ourselves on the third rotation over towards P1, LA with a lot of mid-map control so far. But you have a super route coming in from Snoopy. He has to try to make a play happen because the contest is already going to be in. Does Kremp decide to go help his teammates? Or he continues to hold this pitch. He gets some bad timing. Snoopy's able to get one. The numbers are in advantage of Boston. They should be able to find this break.
Beans finishes off Nasty. That's the last player for the Thieves. Spawns largely all collected here for Thieves spawning on the same side of the map. But Boston are fully predicting this. Again, lead will swap once more. Kremp first one to drop. Joe only can find the first trade as a 3-for-1 exchange. Boston a chance to grow their lead.
And now if you're Nasty, you have to slow down. You have to wait for the reinforcements to help. You can't try to be Superman to break in towards this middle P1 hill, but you now have realized that Boston can no longer win it here. We just can't allow them to flip these spawns. That's why you're holding down the bottom Eskies the way that you are. Nasty's able to find a double, trying to make it a triple for the final 10 seconds. LA secure the spawns. They're basically going to be able to tie the game up. It's all going to be about this next rotation of P2.
Oh, and it's a beat down through mid. Snoopy, a chance possibly to allow Boston to move through the old time and around the back, but this is taking a lot of time. Kremp is still here to try to hold off on this rotation. Joe Deceive's rotating in as well, and the Thieves have a full idea in terms of Boston wanting to hit through mid, but with nades coming from the front, this is just down to can Boston find the kills they need to turn the attention. Pentagram on the way in gets the first. Good supply of help from the side Beans. That's all 4 dead.
Oh, and LADs, they're still going to have the back spawn, so you have another opportunity to break in. But if you don't make this one count, you're now going to spawn all the way across the map. Boston Breach just need one more hold.
Snoopy trying to step up, but the stuns keep him from finding any sort of regen. But the team kill means that this is going to be a 3v3. Boston finding the opening set of kills. Ghosty over the top. Can he continue to decimate this Boston team as he's been able to do all season? Pistol bite. Here comes the Priest to push. Now back into the hard point. Joe Deceives cannot find the 1v1, and Boston secure map 1.
And that is how you get the blood flowing right there for the Boston Breach camp. You've been on 6 straight losses in HP. Last time you played against the squad, you didn't even have your full team. But this time around, you were able to clutch up in those final moments, showed a lot more teamwork, great P3 holds, great breaks when they were necessary.
Yeah.
But the way that they were able to contest P2 at the very end, knowing that we got all 4 kills, they're still going to spawn in towards the back, and they were playing so tight. It wasn't turning into one-on-one gunfights all around the map. Everyone was playing for a trade, and that was the biggest difference for Boston Breach in map 1.
And I think the thing about it is if you go to the listening again, so many moments where it's not just Priest, it's everyone saying, whoa, 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 take a breath. Wait, hold on a second. Let's not take these 2v4s. And for a team that through Major 3 qualifiers was ranked in the bottom 6 in terms of rotation percentage, hold percentage, break percentage, they couldn't get anything going because no one was waiting for each other. That finally came through, especially when it mattered most.
And that's just good plays from every single player on Boston. Obviously, Snoopy has himself an outstanding map. A minute and 30 in hill, 21 traded kills, 5,500 damage with 36 and 28 KD. He was really the tone setter, the person that was keeping Boston Breach in the game. Obviously, Priest didn't have the start that he wanted at 0-10, but he ends 21-13. He had his moments where he had to clutch up in a couple of kills, and he was able to get it done to secure the W in map 1.
With 15 assists as well. I mean, again, you're going to look at that second half of the hard point and say, I pretty much just went 21-10.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not bad at all for Priest in terms of recovering after a slow start. Also, important to note, we haven't mentioned his name yet, Pentagram also plays well. Again, the SMG duo. This is where we saw the ceiling, especially you and I. We've watched Pentagram over the course of this entire season at Challengers. Him and Snoopy have played together before, and they looked like they really vibed with each other in the late stages of Modern Warfare 2. Now we're starting to see it on the main stage here for the CDL.
And it's the perfect time to see it because back's against the wall. You're at 50 completed CDL points. You need to try to make up for it. And obviously at LAN, you're going to get more opportunities for better points when you get W's here. But now the series is yet to be done. Now you're going into the worst game mode for this for this major qualifiers in Search and Destroy, where they are 1-11, but at least you got that Rio S&D where you did take down Vegas Legion 6-1 in dominant fashion.
Game flow will show you exactly how tight this map was. But like we talked about, the first half of this map series layout really has to be looking good for Boston.
Yeah.
Not only do you get a real hard point where you've been super competitive, but now you stay there and you go to a search and destroy where most recently a 6-1 win, and it was clean. It was composed. Both sides of the bomb looked great, and the other performance before that was a round 11 loss. So again, you have these moments where you can look back and say, even with the coach at times, we're really strong in this map. This could be our best bet to win a search in this series.
And the thing that they did versus Vegas that was so well was the teamwork aspect. We're talking about everyone having at least one first blood, everyone trading efficiently. On the objective side, they were always working that bomb plant, the #1 bomb plant team on Rio, and that's what you have to show your strengths in, because LAT, they've had a couple reps on this. They're basically 4th or 5th in first bloods on both sides of the field, and they stand strong on both sides on attacking and defending. So if you are Boston, you just have to show your strengths, which is those attacking rounds.
Is there any consideration, and I don't want to throw this narrative out there too prematurely, but in terms of improvement in search and destroy, this Thieves team was the best going from Major 2 into Major 3, especially through the qualifying stage. But do you kind of hold a caveat to that, considering the strength of schedule they had? Because when they played Optic at the very end, sure, a couple of great moments, but between that and their first match yesterday, I think we started to see that maybe that strength of schedule did kind of influence those points a little bit.
Yeah, no, I think the strength of schedule plays a big part. If you're not playing against the best competition, especially in search and destroy, when you're one of those top teams, you're definitely going to outshine every single time you spawn in on the map. But not going up against Boston, you're probably thinking the same thing. Yeah. These guys are probably the worst search and destroy team that we have in the league. We should be able to go out here and at least tie the series up 1-1.
I don't know, man. Feels like one of those things that for Boston, things are clicking, especially if I saw it at the end there in Snoopy's camp. If Snoopy starts to get loud and pop off, that's not common.
Oh, yeah.
So if they're feeling that kind of fuego, who knows what this Breach team could be in store for this possible map number 2. Offense first for the Breach. Early stun for the Thieves will actually hit on the Snoopy, so he can't challenge up towards top Beskies, and we're going to get a patient approach here for Boston.
Yeah, this is a split setup. Just trying to get the read of any LAT players, trying to get aggressive up through the middle of the map, but no one has bite the bullet yet. Now that time continues to tick, but you're able to back them down with those tacks and now take a little bit of this mid-map control. But LAT, you got to expect that smoke grenade retake to come in.
Absolutely. This is the thing, is this is just a little bit of a fake show of force here for Boston. The intention is towards A with the bomb moving over. Ghosty on the corner. Team shots nearly take him down, but there's a double stack here at boxes. Snoopy maybe not anticipating that there were 2 Thieves defenders there. So as he commits to the gunfight, Thieves come away with the trades, leaving Beans by himself in an isolated moment for the first, but nothing more.
And I love that play right there to LA, because you had a player who was islanding over towards that bridge side. He's able to win that one-on-one versus Priesta, and he also gives the info to the team. Like, they might be showing a little bit of presence through top mid, but they're not fully committing down that side. So let's rotate early over towards A, and they were able to put themselves in an ideal setup to shut down that initial push. LA Thieves take the first round.
And another first blood tally. That has been a great statistical category for the Thieves squad. In particular on offense, they ranked 2nd in the Major 3 qualifiers in being able to find attacking first blood. So can they keep that up early? After the quick exchange over the top of the A site, Thieves will take their first offensive attempts with the support of a trophy. Largely here towards B. Nasty a little late towards B Street, but a chance to still at least scout out where Priest is positioned.
And now you just have to be worried about the tax that could be invested on the side of Boston Breach for this retake. You're also going to take Jodeci's off of that bomb, and they're just going to try to send it. They're at least able to find that trade, but Jodeci keeps them on top in the 3v2.
Great patience from the Thieves. Not committing on for the plant. Ghosty, Nasty, last 2 left over the top, and that's the AR support right over the front of what looked to be initially a quick idea for a plant. Backed off nicely. Good collection of kills for Thieves.
And that's right there where Boston Breach, you gained the info. You were able to at least spot one player on the bomb, but when you back them down with the stuns and the nades, you cannot fully commit on that retake initially the way that they did, because then you're just putting the numbers advantage in favor of LA, because the bomb carrier is no longer planning, so now his gun is up in the air, and you best believe someone is watching over him. So it was just better plays from LA to not fully commit to that bomb plant, to play the trades before even thinking about the objective, but they still come out on top in this round and kills.
Little mind game starting to come through right now, favoring that of the Thieves. Boston, next offensive approach. Off the rip, looking heavily over towards A, but look at this LA Thieves setup. Trophy system down, quick slide out, but Jodeci gets absolutely obliterated. Information starting to come through, but the Thieves, who are already committed onto the A site, largely get blown apart, and with that we have a 4v2.
And in this 4v2, I would just send it. You have the numbers advantage. You're wrapping into no info through top mid. You at least let Nasty find 1 kill, but it's still a manageable play for you now that Ghosty is in a 1v3.
And they know he's got to rotate out from boxes, so you've got number 5 and Stippy watching for the pinch. Everyone else mostly making sure there's no danger over towards the opposite side of this B site. So now Ghosty, with a couple of shots in, has revealed his position, and this becomes, well, a very hard-pressed 1v3. First shots are good. Transfer, decent. Keeps Beans at bay a little while longer. Boston still waiting to play off the bomb.
The 3v1, though, we can't give him all these one-on-one gunfights. Still a lot of time here for Ghosty to work with. Beans does a good job, though, just simply playing his life, throwing a couple shoulders as that time is continuously getting away from Ghosty. As he's able to find Priesta, but not able to find the kill. Boston Breach with the perfect blind counter on that round. They said the first round on attack, we played it really slow and didn't really work out in our favor. This time we're going to be super aggressive over towards A, and thankfully LA had the same exact game plan. They just came on top in the trades to secure the first round.
And to be fair, that tempo for Boston's offense is something we should expect.
Yes.
They are second in being able to get amount of plants down. It's just been their post-plant setups have been really, really poor in this particular qualifier. Not so much this time. Use the clock nicely, stretch out that 3v1 a little bit deeper, and the first round gets tallied. So now the onus back over to the Thieves, see what they want to do on their next offense. Bomb looking over towards A initially, but this looks like it's going to be a slow spread with an early look from Nasty over the top of B Street, and Kremp just making sure there is no push down over through Eskies.
And right now, Boston have a lot of info. The play is obviously not coming in over towards A, but they're just going to keep their ground in towards the middle of the map. Pentagram finds that first blood, and I already love the play out of Boston. You're backing on up, keep the numbers in your favor.
Interesting situation here, though. Thieves trying to beat them to the punch of the re-wrap back over towards A. It's only a 1-for-1, though, for Joe. Pentagram able to tally 2 in a row, and that's the bomb now down in a pretty impossible spot, you would think, for Nasty. Would have to play this out in like a 1v3 TDM for the next 50 seconds.
Yeah, this is not going to be easy, though, because the crossfire is here and the shots out of Beans. He's always shooting with that MCW. But Boston Breach leveling up right in front of my eyes, man. Like, in those situations last week, they would find that initial kill and consistently push on through. But they said, nope, we got the man advantage. We already have mid-map control. We have a player also watching us off the rotation. So we're just going to keep the numbers in our favor and force you guys to beat us by putting that bomb down. And LAT do not have an opportunity to do so. Great plays from Boston, now 2 rounds in a row.
And a nice tempo change.
Yeah.
I mean, aggression on the defense right through the offensive side of Eskies. Not common in terms of a play that looks like that. So 2-2 early. Boston, once again, kind of like their first offensive look, taking their time on this approach, trying to maybe tally, count where these nades are coming from. Lots of explosions right in front of Snoopy's face, but again, not much seen to this point, as Boston will now make their first steps trying to figure out what's over the top FE.
Yeah, they're just waiting out these tacks, make sure no one's getting picked off early on.
Here we go.
Because that bomb is now going to get planted, but LAT, what they love to do is invest that smoke initially as soon as that bomb gets planted for that retake, but they do not have an opportunity now.
And this is already so different for Boston. Again, their post-plant percentage has been miserable, but look how far back they're playing, saying, if you want to play smoke retake, fine. We'll wait for that to dissipate and then hit you off this pinch from Pentagram on 3 in a row. Does he get the timing here? There's kill number 4. Kremp been tallied over towards vending. Nasty now seen over towards the back, but he's got to look at Priest, the pistol out. Oh, able to find the help from Kremp. And the post plant goes awry. The retake percentage for Thieves so strong for them throughout this qualifier comes up gold again for him.
And if you're Boston Breach right there, like you get the bomb planted, it's 35 seconds left, you have to know that Thieves have to take a little bit of mid-map control to even try to win the round. And they just put themselves in a whole lot of individual plays. Like Pentagram working his way all the way through boxes. It turns into a one-on-one gunfight, even though he's able to find one. But then everyone else around the mini-map is in a one-on-one gunfight. Yeah. You're just forcing them to clutch up in those fights. And if you don't, that's where that successful retake comes in for LA. So in post-plan scenarios, you just got to play a little tighter if you're Boston.
Okay, 3 in a row for Kremp after that last round win. Offense, 3-man hit right up towards Eskies. We've seen Thieves play with this kind of tempo before, looking for quick plants, but Boston staying on top of their toes as well, moving quickly over towards Ghosty's direction. A 1-for-1 there is perfectly fine. That's the intel, and with that, the plant.
So now the bomb is going to go down. 3v3, and I thought at least one player from Boston Breach was going to commit on that flank. They're all just going to rally through bottom Eskies, and Nasty should at least get info onto one player if Priest decides to cross right in front of him. But that time is starting to get away. Boston Breach have to get a move on it.
Oh, and the timing on this wrap from Nasty is going to work out incredibly well for him. Shots starting to come through. Thieves starting to get a read that Boston are making their moves, and Nasty's got everyone in front, but a quick turn from Priesta. Trade is in. 15 seconds on the clock. You start to go here if you're Boston. Regen now also in. Priesta can hop for the defuse, but no. Thieves too primed and ready for it. Post plant comes through nicely, and we got a 4-2 tally favoring LA.
Right there, if you're Boston Breach again, you trade efficiently on the flank. And now you are putting in the minds that LAT have to watch that angle. And then eventually it turns into we're watching one side over towards bridge side. We get some bad time and we're not able to spot Nasty on the cross, but just too slow. Like relying in those situations on retakes, it comes down to some one-on-one gunfights in those situations. And unfortunately, they decided to stack through top mid and Nasty found the perfect timing.
It's been a game of chess though so far, I'll tell you what. Don't have anyone individually popping off or letting their team down. It's been a very compromise of 4 players trying to pull off these playbook plays as best as humanly possible. Kremp on 4 still though. And he is going to try to make a play over towards A. Here comes the McTrophy. Stun is down. Oh, but Ghosty gets the benefit of all his damage tally. That's 3 in a row for him. Looking for the quick gaze. Has a look at Beans. Help is on the way. But Beans is out of there. Bomb left behind.
Now Beans left in a 1v3. Bomb down over towards ramp. You can see in your minimap, all of LA have combined to run around together. Use that buddy system to trade effectively, and this just gets more and more difficult with the amount of ground that LA Thieves are able to cover.
Beans is hoping and praying he can find someone caught out by themselves. He is not going to get that, though. No way, no how. We'll have a chance to collect the bomb, though. Obviously nerves in terms of where the rest of this Thieves collection is, and he will find it and say, uh-oh, not good. Rival 9 is out, but doesn't make a difference. Thieves just wolf back it through, overwhelmed, and now they're on map point.
Yeah, that's just perfect plays right there out of LA. More specifically, obviously out of Ghosty, who was able to find 3 on the round. Was working on the ace, but just the setup right there from LA was perfect. The stun hits on Kremp over towards the boxes area, and I'm pretty sure Boston did not have at least one person watching the cross towards the backside, so you had no info that Ghosty was going to be in towards garage. He's able to peek at the right moment, find 3 in the feed. It shuts down all the aggressive players right there from Boston to now put LA at game point.
Yeah, Ghosty actually just kind of pops over towards on top of the bomb site itself. Wasn't playing all that deep on the cross, so whether he was affected by the stun or not, he stays concealed for long enough to make a play happen. Opening stun from Boston's defense does hit over towards Ghosty, but the play is looking to go quickly over towards this B site. There's a stack here, but it doesn't make a difference. Team shots through. Joe gets the benefit of both, and now a chance to plant and put this map away.
Priest and Bees now left to clutch up. Try to keep this map going. It only gets more difficult now that Kremp is able to find Beans. Priest to left in the 1v4 is gonna fall, and LAT take 4 rounds in a row to close out this search, destroy 6-2, tie the series up at 1, and now we have a series.
Decent ideas from Boston.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of those rounds in a row, it looked like, oh, okay, here we go. Like a little tempo change, just catches Thieves a little bit off guard, but I mean, composure, the name of the game for this Thieves search and destroy. It has been all the way throughout the qualifier, was again here, playing into their strengths, opening first bloods, turning into conversion percentages, great on the retake defensively, getting good reads, getting good intel, and then using that to break down Boston pretty cleanly in those last 4.
Yeah, that's the thing, because the breakdowns and the retakes were the key to success, because they were both tied up in first bloods at 4-4 apiece.
Yeah.
But like when you're Boston breach and you get that bomb down, time is already 10 seconds deep. You have to put yourself in a setup to where someone is watching over that site, and if that guy falls, someone is instantly there to trade. It's just in their post-plan scenarios, they just all spread around the map, everyone trying to make an individual play, and LA Thieves got to read on it every single time, because once they take top mid, they said no one's up here, someone's got to be trying to hit a route, and LA Thieves reading that to perfection to close out that search and destroy. Now we're tied up at 1 going into Karachi control, and this is going to be a fun one, man. This might be the deciding factor of who walks away as the victorious.
I agree with that, and I think in particular, if you're a Boston fan, you have to step away and say, wait a second, we're 3-0 on this map, this qualifying stage, and we have not lost a single round on it. So tough battle ahead for not just Thieves on this map, but also the Subbase hardpoint, which we're guaranteed has not been great for Thieves fans. So if you're a Boston Breach fan, you want to get this thing done in 4. We've got Karachi control, the bread and butter for Boston, coming up after the break.
Upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
Scuff Gaming is doing an ultimate giveaway where you and a friend can win a chance to go to COD Champs this year. The giveaway includes 2 VIP tickets, travel expenses, and more. To enter, scan the QR code on the page or go to scuff.co/CDL and enter your email. Terms and conditions apply.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL.
In Toronto, they turn it into a miracle. Unbelievable.
Lins goes back to the bomb plant. I love it. Is Felony going to get hit fast enough? Oh my goodness, Renetti at the ready. Do it. Do it. Love it. The violence. The round is over.
It doesn't get better. Like, your eyes light up when you catch him as he's running away from it. That's the instant call to hop the bomb. Nasty gonna get that trade, but a 3v2 for Surge, and they are still smooth.
Oh, Nasty wins a big one. Ghosty, can he get two as well? What a round. Thieves finally equalizer.
You are dealing with players that are running you down.
Toronto have to reset up again.
This is their last hurrah.
Only 2 defenders inside the zone. The others for New York. Worried about the overextension.
Oh my God.
Drop. Here comes the flood. Skies by himself could do nothing. Trophy system this time gets placed safely. On top of that, it's a 12v2. Toronto looking clear here at A, unless maybe some desperate nades land and popcorn them out of the zone. Hydra tries to step up, and Toronto takes the round 5 offensive win.
Oh my God, Ultra.
Nero on 3 straight. He'll be holding. Get the plant down. You lost a man early. This time you're able to get the first blood. Nero going big. 5 in a row. Looking for 6. Able to keep on eating. Maybe the ace. But I love this. It's all 4. Nero, a monster in that round. And he's on 7 in a row.
I mean, with the score the way it is.
Grab with the double through the hill. Still keeps the opportunity alive for Ultra. They get all 4 dead in the feed. They are potentially going to steal map 1 right now.
But the last 8 seconds are coming through. Kleenex over the middle of the map. Oh! It works out. One more hit coming out of save it. It's Kleenex doing his namesake. Wipes up the floor on the front side of the hard point in Toronto. Turn it into a miracle. Unbelievable. Welcome back to Toronto, and after a map 1 pop-off in favor of the Boston Breach, it's all Thieves through the search and destroy, where again, Boston just have not been particularly great. Good news though for Breach fans, you've got a Karachi control coming up. They have been legitimately perfect on this map, this stage, and they have to stay that way, you think, if they want to win this series.
Yeah, this has been their shot in light all throughout Major 3 qualifiers. Obviously, hardpoint was up in the air a little bit. S&D was world's worst, but Karachi control has been their dominant map and mode, as they're sitting at 3-0. 3-0 on the attack side, 6-0 on the defensive side, and they're averaging all the ticks on everything. So that's perfect for Boston Breach. They're happy as hell to spawn in on this map. And I think even for LAT, even though they're sitting at 1-0 on this one, you're just happy as hell you're not seeing invasion.
Correct.
That's been the struggle for LAT and all throughout Major 3 qualifiers, is that they try to figure out invasion and just simply could not fully get it down. And now you're testing the waters with Karachi, going up against this squad who basically is flawless. So you have to be in your A game.
Absolutely the case. And to be fair, for LA, their offensive stats when it comes to maps like Karachi are great.
Yeah.
It's just the simple fact that the 6-0 defensive record for Boston is unheard of when it comes to this map, especially lately, where it's just been offense for offense for offense. And the fact of the matter is they're not just winning defense, they're winning it with a heavy set of lives in their favor, usually averaging like 5 to 6 plus lives in the differential. So great news here for Boston. Just comes down to, will this iteration of the roster continue on that success that was largely found with Shawnee in the mix?
You just got to do exactly what you do, and that's outslay on both sides of the field. And then on the defensive side, the reason why they're 6-0 is because they have not yet, all season long, at least all throughout this stage, gave up any progression over towards that B point, at least not allowing to get completely captured. So if you are LAT, that's got to be in the back of your minds. We don't play this map a lot, but we love this map, and we're going to have the aggressive SMGs to really set the tone. And I think the focus guy that I want to put a lot of focus into is Kremp. He's at a .81 overall in control, and we know what he's able to do in hardpoint. We see him take over and search and destroy, but this is the mode that has been struggling with him, and it's probably due to the fact that they were playing a lot of invasion. But on a map like Karachi, you can run around with that Rival 9 and really set the tone.
On top of that, with the 1-1 current map count, Subbase waits for us for map number 4, which again, for Boston, you're coming away with this map set saying you're going to give us both of our best overall record hard points. Sounds great. And in particular, for Thieves, it's kind of puzzling to see them even still allow it to be in. They're 1-6 on the map. They've been getting blown out on it. They just can't seem to way to find rotational success in this map in any form. So for Boston, it kind of feels like, gotta win this one, gotta win the next one, avoid that map 5, where not only have you been terrible in map 5, you've also have not been particularly great on that particular search and destroy of high rise. So lots of things to consider here for Boston fans, but it starts first and foremost with the Karachi control, which we're loading into right here, Jay.
Yeah, this has to be a must win for Boston Breach. You have to come out and set the turn early on. So I'm really curious to see what side of the Swans they're going to be on, either the attack or the defensive side. But you see the stats there for both of the teams. First overall for Boston in every single category. They're going to be the team on defense. So let's see if LA can have any success over towards that B point.
And it looks like they may try to go for it off the rip here, Jay. Not often we see this. A little bit of noise and distraction being thrown out by Ghosty, but as Nasty wins one over towards Red, Bean says, hold on a second here. They come over towards the B zone. And meanwhile, Ghosty actually keeps the clock paused at, hey, this is going off flawlessly for the Thieves.
This is a perfect start because you're working progression up on both points. At least you do have a couple players here from Boston Breach trying to contest in towards the cafe, but that first segment is already gone. Pentagram on the pinch. Him and Snoopy combined for 2, so they're able to eliminate these players farthest pushed up, but that's already job well done if you are LA.
Yeah, close red spawns for Thieves, but the focus transitions back over towards the A, saying job done. We got the first tick over towards the B zone. Beans gives up his position up top over towards Vending and jumps trying into getting to Rubble, but he was by himself completely, kind of a throwaway life, and with that, it's going to be an extra 60 seconds added to the clock with the capture of A.
Yeah, now Boston Breach have to cut their losses. You have to set up over towards the Junkyard side. Big kill from Pentagram to at least catch Nasty, who was able to slip past enemy lines, but still was able to take care of him. But you do have a couple players from LA at least trying to work their way around the deep pitch. Ghosty wins a one-on-one versus Beans. You have a little bit of map pressure over towards his B point, and now everyone from Boston Breach has to turn around and eliminate these guys out of cafe.
Huge win for Breach, able to keep his life topside red. But like you mentioned, the problem here is how does Boston try to reinforce off their spawns to defend this B zone? Snoopy trying to work his way in. Good help from Beans. Trade is out though. Thieves still staying alive on the zone. Not the cleanest shots from Pentagram. Kremp able to find the elimination, and it's going to be him on the zone with Joe Deceives trying to come up quickly. Second of progress is locked. Priest is still alive, top singles somehow. On 4 in a row, but who's defensively going to get back to the zone? Kremp is just hanging out, having himself a coffee. Ghosty able to support the supply, and that's enough likely for the B zone, but Bean steps in and takes Kremp out of the point.
Yeah, that's a scary situation right there, because I thought Boston Breach had to eliminate this one player on the point, because he was getting really close to completing that third segment, but they're able to find that one-on-one gunfight. But once Pentagram falls, now they're already in towards the point. It's only a matter of moments before the stack comes in, and even the round win, if Boston don't make these kills count. But Snoopy, again, making it happen.
Nasty was on a reload, had to swap to the pistol. Couldn't take down these defenders, and now all of a sudden, what looked to be an absolute takeaway from the Thieves, the tick of progress gets depleted. Boston trying to rewrap over through red, but just as I say that, Nasty slips in. Pistol was out of ammo, so now it all rests with Joe. And, well, he does take care of Beans, trying to keep his life a little while longer, but Thieves will have to come off and reset up.
Yeah, it's still the close spawns, though, so they're initially right back into this fight. Just got to win one more set of kills, and you're going to put yourself in the objective. But stuns are hitting, everything is connecting on the Ghosty, not able to find that kill on the Pentagram, and it's still Boston Breach on the back of their foot, still holding on strong on their setup.
I mean, what in the heck was this round of control? Wow, Thieves now down to a 9v8. Still plenty of time on the clock. Got to take a beat. Got to take a breath. A little bit of support through mid. Kremp sneaks through completely unnoticed. May have an opportunity to take off this back heady, but not the case. Nasty, last one standing. Good for a double, but has to wait for the respawns to come through for the rest of the Thieves members.
There's still close spawns there for LA. So with 35 seconds left, 7-6 in lives remaining, this is basically going to be the last hurrah for both squads. One set of kills to either hold strong on defense or one set of kills to walk away with the attacking round. It looks like Boston finding those initial 3 kills in the feed lead to no more respawns for LA. 25 seconds to go.
6v4, but you have Nasty up top, getting a tally on what this Boston defense looks like. Just comes down to, as Thieves try to approach this diner, do they find the information they need in the players that are forward? And no, they don't. Pentagram good for the first. Over the backside through alley. Snoopy, tough gunfight, but doesn't miss a bullet. Kremp will drop next. Nasty next one up, and nothing going the way of the Thieves. I mean, we were a whisker's hair away from finding that third tick, but Boston hold on strong.
Yeah, if you're LA, you definitely want that round back because you gave yourself a lot of opportunities to walk away with this early attacking round. But just keeping one player in towards that point, obviously the progression is going to go up a lot slower than you wanted to. And you allowed Boston Breach every single time off the respawn to find at least 1 or 2 kills, to initiate the break, and then play really tight on their setup. Even with LAT getting those close ones over towards red, they just simply did not have opportunities to break in towards Boston because of the crossfires that they had set up over RB.
10-4 for Priesta, 9 non-traded in his first round. Heck of a start for him, carries a 4 streak into round number 2. Opening nades for Boston, giving the illusion of a hit towards A, but there is a little bit of a lurk here over towards the B part of the zone. Trade on to Joe Thieves, but Beans, you would think, would probably just have to hold this spot and maybe try to work over through mid as LA have completely retaken rubble.
Yeah, Beans is expecting someone to come challenge him. And unfortunately, I don't know if he's going to read it, the player coming off the spawn that he just took care of. At least he's going to put himself in a position to contest it. But LA now with a lot of map control. Yep. They're already pushed out towards Junk. And if you're Boston Breach, you're going to waste a lot of time now trying to work out of your base.
You just got to take a beat here if you're Boston again. You cannot allow Ghosty just to reap you off spawn like this. Kremp denied over through front side at A, so clock will stop at 55 seconds. Boston with a little bit of a route through market to try to get over and get some more progress done, but Thieves are getting a read on it, trying to retake some ground at middle, but as Snoopy takes down Joe Thieves, first tick of progress will get locked in with it.
Yeah, first segment already done at A. Now LAT, even though they're showing a lot of presence over towards that B point, the repinch coming in from Snoopy to at least give the calm to his teammates that Ghosty's pushing up the middle of the alley. He's able to find that kill. Now you can sprint right forward to take a little bit of red control. And you put LAT in a situation where, are we going to contest this or not? And at least they're able to find the initial kills. But Boston with more bodies, going to put themselves right back in it. Should be a matter of moments before they're able to extend the game clock.
Snoopy in and out of top red. Pentagram down low at the bar will actually get into back alley with this. And here come Boston quickly onto the B zone. Extra 60 seconds going to be tallied at A as that's finished off by Beans. Good transition kills for the Thieves to allow this defense to at least get some ground set up around the hill.
Yeah, and this is great plays from Snoopy to just keep his life in towards top red. Going to keep the players from LAT consistently trying to look for you. He's maneuvered his way around the map. Unfortunately, walks right into the preempt of Kremp. So LAT shut down that first initial push. They're taking a lot of red control, and they're already pushing out towards Junk. So Boston, again, now have to work out of their base.
Yeah, Ghosty and Kremp have their eyes firmly set over towards these mid-crosses. Joe is working over with Nasty towards Junk side. Again, keeping Boston spawning deep over towards this bottom side of the map. Have to work through mid if you're Boston. Here's Kremp right through the top side of red. Good for the first. Shots in. Not enough for the initial kill, but Snoopy's just able to at least tally it up. Trades back and forth all over the place, and with that, map control starts to swing back a touch towards Boston.
Yeah, it starts by finding that kill onto Joe Thieves, so now you can push up freely up through Junk side. Just have to figure out how they're playing around the red. Snoopy unfortunately can't win that gunfight versus Ghosty. You get info onto Joe Thieves, but just have to stay alive in this position. Beans up close and personal with the MCW is able to find one, Priested with 2, so a potential opportunity here for Boston.
12v9, but Boston chipping back into the life deficit just a touch. Now the setup plus the hit, executed over towards the B zone. LA trying to watch the cross through mid. Shut down on towards Beans, over towards the top side at red, but the clock will stop at 30 seconds to be on the zone.
Still 8-9 in favor of LAT, but Priest is able to find a double. He now finds himself on 5 in a row. Joe Thieves, I don't know how the hell he's able to win that gunfight, but you're sending Priesta. He's able to pick up a cruise. First segment already complete. The second one is on its way. And LAT, everyone's trying to jump over the dumpster. And if you're Boston Breach, you just got to win one more set of fights.
Second tick is locked, third being worked on, and there's the set of fights that you wanted. Nasty, the last one standing, able to get into contest, but you'd have to feel that Breach are going to find the kill, and they do. The stack now in. Last set of jumps over the wall, not going to get here in time, and Boston continue to impress here on Karachi Control.
Man, that's now what? 11 rounds in a row on Karachi, 11-0 so far all throughout Major 3. And you would think that LAT did a great job every single time in their defense, the same way they did in their attack, on maintaining the map control. But just one set of kills is all Boston needed to do to break that setup. We get the close red spawns. Now we're going to flood our way in, but they used to take care of him and then just finesse around Cafe a majority of that time. And Priesta, he had a slow map number 1, but he is in takeover mode here on the control.
8 in a row, 22 and 11. Holy cow. Thieves, no craziness here. All the focus purely on towards the A zone. Priest is seeing if he can get to the double-digit side of the streak, and he's just going to call in the Cruise immediately. Boston just trying to put the nail into the coffin and get on to map number 4. First tick of progress, not fully going to get locked. Joe will be taken down by the Cruise, and the Thieves will have to kind of sit around, wait, and try to find some kills before they can re-aggress.
Yeah, but Boston basically used that Cruise to take map control and at least figure out where the hell LAT were trying to be located. You already have somewhat junk control. Snoopy with an insane gunfight onto Nasty from top 3. But it's still a majority of the kills in the feed in favor of the Thieves. So they're going to be able to get that second segment. You already have a player potentially playing for some spawn kill, but he's only able to take down 1. As that third segment is getting complete that day.
I think Joe, yeah, he definitely had a look at Priest crossing over towards bottom red. Beans for the trade. Nasty trying to follow up, and back and forth we go. Nasty, does he get all the way to back alley? No, stays at the bus stop and stunned into place. Snoopy finds the easy kill, and with that, Boston's defensive setup towards B starts to get established.
And now they found 3 down. You just got to locate where Ghosty is. He's at least able to take down 1. Trying to finesse a little bit with his life, and is able to come up behind Beans, but Beans was ready for it. So now Boston, even though they have the numbers on their side, they do not have any junk control, so Thieves can just rip right on through.
But look at the setup over towards red. And Thieves just completely obliterated by stuns, Semtexes, everything coming out of Pentagram's hands. And now the next hit from Thieves has to start to find some success over through the middle of the map. Snoopy may have been seen from a foot over the top, and yeah, that's indeed the case. Nasty finds the kill, and now Thieves have some mid-map control to work with.
They're just going to instantly sprint right onto the point because they know we don't want to wrap back and waste more time for these guys to potentially finesse more and make it happen for Boston Breach to work their way back on in. But they take care of those 2 players on the flank. You can also find Beans. Now you just got to locate where the hell has Snoopy gone.
Yeah, Nasty, low on HP, was trying to guard that jump-up wall, but the rest of the SMG start to light things up for the Thieves. First tick gone, second being worked on. Beans in the corner, absolutely dealt with. Second member and Joe will jump on for the stack, and Boston are looking to try to retake this from the middle of the map. Not going to go over the top. Priest is going to see if he can find something, and he does. He gets Joe to Thieves. A chance here for Boston trying to jump in and contest. Ghosty, though, on 5 in a row, looking for number 6 over the top, but it's Ghosty and Kremp that get the job done, and Thieves will extend this another round.
And that's where if you're Boston Breach, you would really love to have that cruise missile.
Yeah.
To potentially try to close it out in the 3-0, but now LAT have a little momentum on their side. You have Ghosty who ends that round on 5 in a row. They're able to be the first team to complete a B capture versus this Boston Breach squad. Now they stay alive a little bit longer in this control. Back to the defensive side they go. You just got to try to put Boston Breach in that trap that you had initially.
Yeah.
And just try to keep them there as much as you possibly can.
Important note, I mean, it's not just 5 in a row right now for Ghosty. He's 18 and 12. He has not been traded yet. He's already at 4,700 damage. This guy is doing it all. Maybe needed to do a little bit more here, as the defense is already off to a pretty poor start here for the Thieves. First tick looking good as Pentagram's going to go unchallenged for it. And Boston working over towards Fountainside. Snoopy seen, and Ghosty will get his 6 for the Cruise.
Cruise missile now earned in the back of Ghosty. 6 in a row. First segment already complete for Boston Breach at this 8 point, but Ghosty's just going to go for the chow. Fortunately, Pentagram gets the better of him in that situation. Trying to find a double, but not able to execute that kill. And Boston Breach at least are able to reinforce immediately to keep that progression going.
Dan, you've got a player in Beans starting to push forward. Whoa, we're calling the Cruise missile in here. 2 players on. Second tick already gone. Third being worked on, and Priesta will sacrifice his life to the Cruise missile. But look at the focus here for Boston through topside castle. They're able to get some work done over through mid with this. So even though a couple of members have to kind of bail in towards hotel, the Thieves weren't able to collect the kills as quickly as you'd think.
But at least they still haven't worked that progression up on 8 point yet. It's finally able to get someone on that position, and Snoop is able to find 2 through top red. And look at how fast Boston Breach are already taking that map control. Beans finds himself through back alley. You have to try to finesse if you're nasty, and this is a scary situation. Boston can close out the game here.
Right, able to hit down Priesta. That was trying to safeguard the rotation in through mid. Pentagram quickly trying to pick things up over through this soda alley. Here comes the cross onto the Thieves, and the team shots are good for Boston. Second tick of progress worked on already. Already locked in, at least locked in, yeah. But Thieves able to regain some control, just trying to sniff out Soupy, and they find the kill needed, but there's still 1 minute and 55 on the clock.
Yeah, a lot of time for Boston Breach to work with. That's why they're initially sending 3 players to fight over towards the junkyard side, because LA have not pushed out that positioning. Nasty was watching it, but he only is able to take down 1. And now if you are Boston, you just have to make it count. And an unfortunate 2-piece nade out of Priest is going to slow them down.
I was just about to say Boston are starting to grow this life lead. Just a touch. Okay, Priest just steps up and says, sorry, boys, but I got you. No worries there. Pentagram also part of the problem as Priesta gets a 33 and 19. 4 in a row, back onto the site. Nasty can do nothing over the jump wall. The stack is in, and Boston will continue to stay flawless on Karachi control, and with that, the edge in the series.
Man, I don't know what it is with this LAT squad, but they just simply cannot figure out control. It does not matter what map it is. Even going up against Boston Breach, who only found success on one map. When they saw the vetoes, they were happy as hell that Karachi was able to sneak its way on through. Boston Breach are just dominant from start to finish. LAT had a bunch of opportunities, though, on their first attack.
Absolutely.
You had 5 segments complete on that attacking round. You initially started with a beat push, and that was a great play call, because you get at least 1 segment done, but you just couldn't find that last one because a lot of people were just playing so spread. You can even see it in the LAT's round that they won. It was still a 2-stack. You found a 4 dead, but there's still a couple people playing those cutoff kills, and that's just simply not how you're going to find a lot of success in control. Boston Breach take full advantage of it. Obviously, Priesta sets the tone, and now they find themselves up 2-1.
Huge stuff here for Boston. And like we were kind of talking about, it's not just the fact that the Karachi control's been great for them. You're starting to see Beans really step on back to the stage and become a major difference maker here for this Breach team. Gonna feel bad, I think, if you're a Ghosty fan, considering the numbers he just threw together. But like I said, this really should have gone 5 rounds. If you're a Thieves fan, you were just a breath away from finding the 3rd tick on towards B. But the recovery from Boston's defense, we praised it at the beginning, and it deserved all that praise we found out throughout that first and, of course, this most recent round.
And also the resilience as well, because Boston Breach, they're probably thinking in a bunch of these rounds, we only have 1 or 2 opportunities left, but that 1 or 2 opportunities, they made it count. And that was the biggest thing, because LAT, even on the defensive side, you have all-out junk control. You're making it very difficult for Boston Breach off the respawn to now work that overextension. But all they needed was 1 opportunity. Find that 1 kill over towards junk, we get the close res spawns, we're able to find a 3 dead, and then work our way to the objective, and the stack comes in. That's the biggest thing, is that LAT, every time on their defensive side, we're all spreading out, or just forcing a lot of one-on-one gunfights, but you don't really have those opportunities when those progressions for Boston Breach are going up so damn fast.
Agreed. So, good collection for Boston, good punish on the mistakes that came through, especially early. And what has been really the bread and butter for Boston in this stage, being the control, continues to keep them alive, and not just alive. Now all of a sudden you start to look at this series layout and say, hold on a second, we've got a Subbase coming up next. I mean, Thieves have been miserable here. 1-6 overall in the season, 0-2 in this stage, where they've lost on average by like 95 points. It has been bad all across the board. So if you're Boston, you're sitting here saying Beans is popping off, Priest is popping off, let's go feast in map 4.
Yeah, this is an opportunity, obviously, for Boston Breach to close out this series in 4. But if you are LA, you do have a couple reps underneath your belt.
Sure.
And you played against one of the best teams, if not the best team in Optic Texas on Subbase. You unfortunately fall short, but you can take things away from that loss. And the biggest thing that you have to take away with is that we're rotating, we're setting up at these hills, but when we are forced to break into the hills, that's when we are scattered on our breaks. We're going 1 by 1, allowing us to get picked off, and just simply not giving themselves opportunities to find a successful break that leads to time.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, this is the #1 break team overall across hardpoint in Major 3 qualifiers, except for the 2 maps that were in this pool. So that's the big news here. On the other side for Boston, again, the stats aren't really convincing in any particular form. They haven't really played a good cohesive game of hardpoint. That was already different though in map #1. So this is a Subbase's map where you have to be on the same page. You cannot be in these weird mixy spots mid-map and just get caught, because that's where Thieves will absolutely punish.
That's all it's going to come down to, because Subbase, we know it's all about the teamwork. People blocking certain spawns, hitting certain rounds to make it easier for your teammates, holding power positions like top snow, like top 3. That's why I'm expecting the ARs to be felt on the side of Boston Breach. They weren't really felt in that map #1, because Josie had a great start, and so did Snoopy, really led the way on that Rio. But for both of these teams, hardpoint breaking is just simply not getting good for Boston. Everything in hardpoint has been treating them well.
And that's the other point. Again, just to reiterate, now that we've got the visual graphic, yeah, sure, it's first overall with great points per break for the side of Thieves, but that is not prevalent on this map. It has been on maps like Karachi and 6-Star and Rio. We have not seen that here on Subbase. So this is all about, can they rotate, can they hold, which has been, over the course of the entirety of the season, one of their worst instances when it comes to hardpoint. Can they get themselves actually a good complete setup, holding spawns, holding up a little bit of a buffer in front of the zone? Have to have it here on a map like Subbase.
They gave themselves a bunch of opportunities on that Rio. It just came down to a mixy P2, a scattered P3, where those hills are very tight. Like when now that you're playing Subbase, the spawns are basically all you're really playing for. The P1, you want the backside, you can chain it to P2. Then obviously for P3, you want the initial spawns for the back. for the initial 20 seconds. But then you instantly want to flip back out so you can get that P4. So just staying ahead of the game might be the game plan here for LA.
Timings and communication is everything. And there is the overall season statistics on Subbase. Like we said, first overall in hardpoint breaking in this stage. 12th here. It's been bad for Thieves. Boston, the same rate. This feels like a must win. You don't want to go to a game 5, especially with it being on high rise. So here we go. Boston from the unfavored side, looking to make those early routes to the bottom side at Snow.
Big kills early on coming in from Boston. You would think LAT on the preferred side instantly jump into this hard point. But when you lose those initial 2 fights and now you're allowing the menaces and the SMGs on Boston Breach to simply roam around, it's going to make it very difficult for them to work their way back into this HP.
Yeah, plus a key 1v1 win from Priest at bottom side of the map. He can maybe try to pull this rotation from a different angle. Thieves have to kind of watch multiple things at once. Stun out, Priest to lock into place. Ghosty going to likely find this kill, no worries, and he will. But the opening time here for Boston, it's been great. It just comes down to their first attempt toward trying to flip the spawns was unsuccessful.
You did at least have one player from LA spawn behind you. A couple players now spawning over towards that tunnel side, and you can get super aggressive up the right side. You can flip the spawn. You just got to take care of Ghosty. They're finding all the kills through the middle of the map. Hopefully they get a read that the spawn's now flipped. And it seems like that's exactly what Bees now knows. The only player alive on this side of the map is going to be Ghosty, but he's just finessing with his life.
Absolutely the wise play to make. Nasty right in front of P2, same situation, but Beans now on 3. Trophy system early earned. Doesn't quite get all the way through the window, but could still be effective from this spot. Joe Deceives gets the opener. Nasty follows up, and Thieves from the front starting to battle back. Priest only gets 1, and then Kremp able to turn the hard point red with Joe Deceives making sure he keeps the off spawn for Boston.
Yeah, it's a perfect read right there from Joe Deceives to read that play out of Beans, to read that spawn. Because now they're basically going to put themselves in a position to potentially walk away with this final 25, even though Boston are getting every single back spawn, but just send in Ghosty. He's been your shining light all season long. He's able to find a triple that leads to the final 15 seconds potentially, but more importantly, they already have their rotation in next.
That's the other part about this, and this is where Boston could really fall apart at the seams. What are we doing? Are we hitting old? Are we trying to hit a rotation? Sometimes it feels like it's 3 things at once. Sometimes maybe even 4 things at once. Have to put together something on a setup. This is a very comfortable opener towards the third hill for the Thieves.
And this is difficult now because Boston Breach is going to hit the super long route around Waterside, and you would want these back spawns initially, but LAT, they are ready for this push to come through. Kremp trying to be the cutoff man. He is going to fall, but the rest of the teammates find all the kills through the middle of the map. And you also have Kremp now spawning over towards that next hill. So this is a scary situation for Boston because if you allow LA to get one more set of kills, you're now spawning at that old HP.
Yeah, you've got a 2v2 in the middle of the map, and everyone else for the Thieves are just worried about dealing with Snoopy. And as they do, the first 30 seconds have, again, all been tallied by LA. Joe Deceives, nice gunfight down low towards Warehouse. Pentagram also dropping in towards Tunnel, and it has been a great setup here for the Thieves. Looking good for the back 18 seconds as well.
This is where you now have to make it count if you are Boston. You're trying to trap them in towards the backside of this warehouse area. You're also shutting down these players, potentially working on some cruise missiles, so it's not going to make it easier for LA to lead to the break. But Ghosty now finds himself on 5 in a row. You let him find this kill, your P4 setup is instantly going to get broken, but he's just trying to finesse with his teammates. Pentagram is at least able to find one, and Ghosty's still just searching for 1 kill.
Absolutely. And he gets caught. Okay. But
the spawn.
Oh, they're almost playing it too well from the front. LA's going to get benefit of spawning behind. Beans does have a look at this, but it's a split situation for the Thieves. Consider that this got exploded in the middle of the map. They have a chance to actually completely envelop this play from Boston. The hold from the front is looking decent, and then Snoopy up top with a long-range rival 9 shots may have just saved this hard point for Boston.
Yeah, this is not the way you want to get it done, but Boston are taking the most of the opportunity. Holding on to this P4 from the front side. Snoopy from top 3 is getting those kills with a rival 9. Such an extraordinary talented player that he is, and he's still staying alive in the moment. Finally does fall, but even with LAT getting those split spawns, they're only walking away with 10 seconds. You will take that if you are Boston.
It's legitimately one of those moments you look at as your boss and said you were playing too well through the middle of the map. So maybe not as full of a hold as you would have liked if you're Boston, but you do recover decently, and you get the rotation with high ground positions over here at 5.
And that's a big kill also from Pentagram to read Ghosty going on that pinch. So now, even though you have the warehouse spawns, you know exactly where all of LA are going to try to apply the pressure from. All the kills in the feed are going to be white. Boston Breach are just coming out swinging. Snoopy still roaming around with that rival 9. And now LAT, they get not the preferred spawn for this hill. Boston Breach can start to run it up.
Snoopy is just in the right spot at the right time. Every time it feels like with this rival 9. gets the road pincher through mid. Now the Thieves hit has to come from frontside warehouse. Priest on 3 in a row, looking for number 4. Dances in and out with Ghosty, who keeps his life and maybe keeps this break attempt for scrap still available. And yeah, with an extra kill from Nasty through mid, there will be a little bit of extra time either contested or tallied here for the Thieves.
Yeah, the final 10 seconds, though, is going to be in favor of Boston. So basically a tie game, basically the exact same thing that we had in map number 1. But this is where someone has to try to chain at least 2 hills together. And you can see LA all in the feed, all on your mini-map, working that overextension, trying to flip these spawns, but it's still Boston Breach getting those close spawns to the back besides Beans.
Huge route here from Pentagram. Does he supply the support over towards top mid? Or does he try to break this thing right from the front? Doesn't even need to make the call. His teammates have done the work largely for him. Nasty, the last Thieves member, still alive at mid. Finds a single kill, but cannot really influence his hard point too much. But now that Joe Deceives comes off spawn, maybe a chance here for the Thieves with numbers to break their way back in. But Beans on 3. Oh! Almost takes care of Trent, but the damage is still collected. The assist tallied, and Boston now hold on to the scrap with a look over towards P2.
And now this is perfect setups right here for Boston. You already have warehouse control. Just have to make sure you put a lot of bodies over towards that overextension at water side, because you're going to walk away with this final 15 seconds. LAT trying to rally the troops to break their last chance in. But all the kills in the feed, at least for now, more effective in favor of Boston. They're going to walk away with that final 10. They have the spawns for next, and this is where they can start to run away with the game.
Oh, Pentagram, decent read here. Has to just hold this position as long as possible. And Beans, wow. The reinforcements at long range. He gets 2 to keep Pentagram alive and well. Frontside warehouse. Early time here for Boston. This is a major moment in this P4, or the 4th hard point rather, at P2. Thieves able to clear out Penta. Now it's just down to, can they finally find a break from the front?
Yeah, they have players attacking from every single angle. Everyone from LA trying to jump their way up through the window. Joe Deceive starts off the engagements, but you still have Boston Breach trying to contest this all the way to the very end. But this is another scary scenario, because if you lose these gunfights, you still will have those back spawns. But you see Beans, he gets blessed with a tunnel spawn. He's going to allow Snoopy to spawn right next to him. Boston Breach should be able to put themselves in a position to win that rotation in next.
This is still just a lot of time, though, for the Thieves. And with the clean exit, you're going to have 2 players playing through warehouse for LA. All the focus goes towards Beans. Not able to find the right angle at the right time. Snoopy thinking about challenging, and whoa, 18 and 13 for the solo SMG player. He's done well to give Boston a chance to get this opening time.
But now LAT, they already have a lot of warehouse control. You already have top snow. Just have to make these kills count, and somehow, some way, Nasty drops from the top ropes, is able to find a double. So an opportunity here for LA to work their way and also flip the spawns, and that's exactly what's going to happen. This was a money hill for LA last go around. They're trying to make it 2 in a row.
Huge timing of that kill from Krem. He finds it, and 2 players immediately pop up. So now, with Thieves battling on their way back, it looks good for the back 30 as we jump into an LA Thieves listening.
Need to be low ammo.
He's almost
They're going up top. They're going up top.
I said they tower.
Low ammo weak. Low ammo weak.
Bunker. Bunker Beans, run away. Yeah, bunker.
Weak Snoopy. All the time.
They're fucking tweaking. Yeah, go right.
I have ammo. They double shot. Come on, get 2.
Nice, go right. I'm on with you.
Run.
Go on server.
Ammo. I'll push him.
Priest Beans, both arrows. Top, MP2 Beans, really weak.
MP2 Beans.
Yeah, top MP2.
Right, almost dead.
Nice, good job.
I'm actually
That guy shoots one out.
He's
Top
top
MP2 Beans.
He's up there. He's
I banged up mid-cut.
Back up.
Back up all day. MP2 L1.
I want.
Nice. It's gonna be long.
What do you see mid?
Trying to get mid.
I have a streak.
I'm up P1.
He'll carry him.
Cat room, one shot.
I have L2.
I can't carry him. Can't go.
Top 7, two guys. Top 7.
I spawned all the way out.
He's the water. Super fun.
One time. L1 in the back.
I1. Weak. Give me the shriek on that.
One shot Beans deep.
But if the score, you might have to. Give me 2?
Yeah,
I'm shooting it.
Let's do it. Guarantee this.
Alright, listen. 1 on time, 1's back time, 1's mid, and 1's out ammo. Where's mid? He's L1.
What's ammo, by the way?
L1 and R1, guys.
I1 weak. He's looking at me. He's one shot. Go mid. One was ammo. Missing this guy ammo.
I'm out triple.
Yo, listen. You're right on me. Be careful of these ammo pinches. One's
Mixy moment going from that back sub hill. Looked like LA were going to string them together. Doesn't work out. Streak really doesn't get a lot, but the rotation to 5 certainly favoring that of the Thieves.
Yeah, they're fully set up for this hill, but I don't know if they're going to be able to read the route coming in. from Priesta, who's worked his way all the way behind enemy lines, but at least the spawn indication from Ghosty is going to give the comm set. Now, Krep, you simply just have to turn around and hold down your lane. They cannot win in here, but they can get pretty damn close.
Able to find the first, looking for the second, turned around, and Pentagram actually, his Semtex will land. So that neutralizes the time of the hard point. This is big net time being essentially contested. Boston still trying to break this in from the front. Snoopy, who's had a great map, continues to provide some success on the hard point. Joe Deceives trying to hunt him out, able to find the first, tagged up top. Here comes the jump down for Priesta, and you've got Boston looking decent for the scrap time, and they've got some control over through mid.
But they just lost that gunfight. Ghosty gets the better of Beans, and now LAT should have put themselves in a position to potentially close the game out here, but the water route coming in from Snoopy, I don't know if it's going to be red, but he's just hoping that his teammates can find a little bit of success through the middle of the map so this pitch can be felt. Beans is only able to find one, but Snoopy activates that dead silence. It's time to go.
He's got to find both players, and all the Thieves get the shutdown at the exact right moment. Beans tried to force in for the trade's not going to work out. Thieves can possibly still win it here. And if they don't, it might be a bit of a battle. Running over towards P2, but Ghosty, first blood is good, and now it's just down to a 3v4 over the top of the hard point.
And this is where you can't go one by one if you are Boston. You have to try to set up a successful team push. There's only one player here left to contest it, and Beans is able to win the one-on-one. So LAT, without the preferred spawns, are put on the back foot. If you are Boston Breach, you are still in an opportunity to close out this game. Just got to hold down this warehouse side, and with Krem finding that double, that might have just been enough for LA to win the rotation next.
But they're not going to go for the time here, so they have to win this rotation. Krem looking for 3 in a row, finds it, and then Nasty up top gets possibly the final kill needed. Boston spawning in the possibly worst spot possible, and there's no chance they get here in time. All the rotation success for the Thieves. Bail them out of another tight one, and we go all the way the distance for map 5.
And even though LA was sitting at an overall on the season, a 1-6 record, 12th overall in breaking, when they needed to make the game count, they found successful breaks not only at P3, but every single time at that P4. Even if they were getting less spawns towards the back, they were making it count. And I think if you're Boston Beach, you played that one fantastic. You just have to go back to that original P4, the first one where you have everyone set up. You have a player pushed out towards comms. You have 2 players contesting over to the right side of warehouse, but they're just too far pushed up on the map that allows LAT to get those back spawns to walk away with a majority of that time. They shut everybody up. They said we're 1-6 at this map. Obviously, we wouldn't want to play this preferably, but we get the job done to now force a game 5.
Lots of reps on it, so lots of VOD to go back through. But you're absolutely right. That moment is one of those like all-time feels bad moments in COD where it's just like, guys, we're playing the map too well. We don't have anywhere else to spawn the Thieves besides behind us. So, a tight one in both the 2 hard points. And now here comes the tricky spot. A map 5. It's on a high-rise search. Thieves have been our best search team overall in terms of the Major 3 qualifiers, and Boston have negative ice when it comes to Game 5s.
Everyone thinks that right now, Boston 0-5 in Game 5s. They're 0-3 on high-rise so far in this stage, but a lot of their high-rise losses have been either 6-4s or 6-5, so they push them all the way to the wire. You just got to be ready for this LA Thieves squad, who you do have a rep with your coach. You just got to make sure you make the adjustment from the last time you played them on this map.
It's starting to work back just a touch, and you think maybe Boston can break all of those terrible trends that have been built over the course of the Major 3 qualifiers. They desperately need a win to extend their tournament and possibly their playoff hopes for world champs. Can they do it on a high-rise search? We come back after this.
Upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
Slice up your competition with the Executive Chef Operator, now available in-game in the Call of Duty store.
Another map 5 here in Toronto, and this has major season implications for the Boston Breach. Sitting at the bottom of the leaderboard overall for the season and what could potentially be the end of their run.
Yeah.
Depending on how this particular tournament goes, have to have it, and it comes to a high-rise search, what we've seen between these two teams before.
Yeah, there's a lot on the line for both of these teams. Obviously, the map 5 metrics, they stand out a lot better for LAT because a 1-10 overall record basically tells you that Boston Breach ain't got no damn ice. That's all it comes down to. When they get to these moments all the way into game 5, when they push it to the distance, they cannot put the bow to close out the series. But I'm not really nervous because everyone is thinking we are bad at game 5. We have no ice. We played this team before with our coach and we went to a round 11. Yep. So now that we have our full roster, we just got to put it together for one map to finally get our first series win on land under their belt.
Yeah, the overall stats on this map may not look great for Boston, but the thing about it is the maps have been close when they played it. Of course, between these two teams, it came down, like you mentioned, to the absolute wire. But the problem has been the ability for Boston to convert and even find first bloods in that manner. Whereas for Thieves, it's been great, in particular on this stage. So, can they continue to find benefit in that category? As Boston will be the first team over on offense. Little double hit bottom blue with eyes over towards B initially.
And this is the biggest thing I'm going to focus on for Boston Breach is the teamwork aspect in this game number 5. Because last time we saw them send Snoopy into absolute death. And unfortunately for Pentagram, he's just not ready for those stacks to get invested over the top. First blood for Joe Deceives.
That is a clinic in utility usage. All it was one late stun to see if they're playing bottom pit, and then as soon as it lands, everyone throw everything at them, and it works out for a free first blood. Snoopy trying to at least extend the play further forward, maybe catch a couple of these defenders trying to rotate over, but Thieves are very comfortable up through Heli, and there's just really not a good look here for Boston at the moment.
Yeah, he's trying to get a read on what the play is going to be from the Thieves. Aprisa at least is able to find one player going through the deep pinch to make it a 3v3, but Ghosty gets the better of Snoopy to still keep the advantage in favor of LA. And with only 30 seconds left, that bomb is still down through bottom pit. You have to work for that objective.
And Beans is fully focused on Krek. He's got to take his attention otherwise, and well, he's almost able to find Ghosty, but once again, a very difficult 1v3, essentially in a Bermuda triangle of Thieves members, and that's enough for the first blood to be converted for LA for the opener.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there from LA, because on the defensive side is where they do tend to struggle with their first blood. 9th overall in the league, but the team needs the info gain and also knowing your opponents, what they'd like to do. Apply pressure over towards that B-bomb through the bottom pit side as we're going to take a look at it again.
Yep.
You called it perfectly, my friend. The late stud comes in, They know that that has to be the aggressive SMG players, and thankfully there's a lot of things that blow up on that side of the map that leads to the first blood for them.
Absolutely beautifully done. It legitimately is just a, don't need to throw anything early, just let's use our utility to see where this hit's going to come from. Perfect setup from Thieves off their opening play. Joe looking to go tippy-toeing over the top of this A site. Rest of the Thieves just kind of holding back, seeing maybe if they can team shot out a first blood, but this is all voluntarily given away for breach, so there's got to be someone watching for this potential play.
I don't know if anyone's going to be in a position to watch Joe Thieves on this jump up. But Joe, you can just tell he's waiting for his teammates to make a little bit of noise over towards that B Street side. They have a lot of control, and he's found the perfect timing to work his way up behind enemy lines.
Problem is he doesn't want to break this glass and give away his position, so he's just going to hold the front windows from right here at these boxes. Ghosty, first blood over the top at B. Here comes Joe's play. Doesn't find the first kill he needs, and all of a sudden, you've got the bomb planted, but the kills go the way of Boston. Retake quickly on the way. LA need to try to get into position, and Nasty over the top. Somehow, some way finds the kill. Kremp has read Priesta, and it's a second round quickly tallied for the Thieves.
That's good stuff right there from LA. Again, finding another first blood. This time it was Ghosty. Even though Joe gets nothing down, or nothing done through that flank area, the bomb gets planted, and Nasty was able to at least put himself in a position to find two immediately. Then in the 1v2, Kremp with the perfect timing through bottom pit, able to spot Snoopy. And that's just LA working their way slowly but surely up to that B Street side. If you're Boston Breach, you have to contest B Street.
Yeah.
You cannot give up that B site for free the way that you did, because then it's very difficult to retake that bomb.
Yeah, absolutely the case. It just almost feels like they're very weary of giving away first blood.
Yeah.
It's almost too passive. Oh, here you go. Bean's able to throw a couple of shots down towards elevators. Bomb was left in spawn. Priesta will back up to try to collect it. Pentagram Snoopy working over towards blue. Here's another stun. Able to find the check. Nades now coming up behind it. This time, no first blood. Boston stay alive through the opening entourage nades.
But they haven't really taken any control of the map so far. Because all of LA, they have bottom pit. They also have B Street. You're watching the overextension through bottom blue. So all you have to do is get a read on what Boston Breach by spotting one player, what they're trying to do on this attacking round. Because that time is starting to tick down.
Well, Joe may have seen a shoulder of one player, but I don't think he sees all three players. Cross Pentagram with the drop shot. Deals with Kremp. Now it's Joe. Has to hold his life. Nasty over the top, providing a little bit of oversight to keep him safe. Bomb making its way up towards the ladder. Ghosty, a little elevated position through mid windows, can't quite finish off Snoopy, and Boston have hit the brakes completely, waiting for the regen and trying to figure out this 4v3.
But eventually we have to work that objective.
Yeah.
You can't allow LAT to work their way back over towards that B site, because they're thinking that bomb is going to get planted sooner or later. And now you allow Joe Thieves to put himself in a great position, but he's not able to win the gunfight. It's all left up to Ghosty in a 1v4.
Not able to find the player up top on the rafters. And so, okay, a moment of like panic where it's just like, Boston, hello? Like, we've got a 4v3.
Let's go, let's move it along.
Let's see if we can get this bomb planted. But like you mentioned, Joe Thieves dealt with over towards the top side. A crane is massive. Otherwise, that could have completely turned the tide of the entire round.
Because when you're wasting that much on the game clock, you're immediately thinking, all right, we got 20 seconds left. I'm instantly going in to work this objective. I'm not going to check any corners. But thankfully, you had Snoopy there to watch over that bomb planter. Is able to win that one-on-one gunfight. And also Boston finding that first blood leads to success. Down 2-1. Back to the defensive side they go. And you could tell by the way that they played the last defensive round, it was very passive. You called it perfectly. No one wants to get first blooded, but this is where they have to play for that first blood, because they're 10th overall on this side of the map.
Opening LA nades over towards top propane. Do tag Beans, but he gets a late trophy system to keep him in position. Kremp, though, talk about this for a route. Did he see the jump up from Snoopy? Is it mutual information? Sure feels like that. And as Nasty is able to find Beans top propane, Kremp does not have to chow this anymore. You can take your now 4v2 over towards Bean. That's exactly what the call is going to be. Although Kremp still gets caught, and there's a chance here for Boston. Maybe try to bring this back.
Trying to clutch up in the 2v3. Potential 2v4 on the cards, but they already spotted a couple players from LA working in toward that B site. And unfortunately, the movement from Snoopy might come back to bite him. But the finesse even better, able to stay alive in this moment. And that objective is yet to be planted. LAT, they're pushing through.
They're trying to get a rewrap here and catch this Boston defense by surprise. And it may work out because Boston are thinking they're planning. And that's not the case. The defensive smoke gets placed. But no, Thieves have completely bamboozled this defensive setup. The bomb is wrapped now in for a plant at A. And Snoopy over the top, just absolutely looked at by every single last member alive for the Thieves. Clean third round, go the way of LA.
It's another first blood in favor of LA. That's now 3-1. And what's the scoreboard? It's 3-1 in favor of LA. They're taking full advantage every single time. And they find that first blood on this map. It's about an 86% chance that they walk away with the round win. And they are keeping that stat high up in the air as now they're taking a little bit of a lead in this search and destroy. Great, one of the best teams on the attacking side all throughout Major 3 qualifiers. Now you just got to find another first blood on the defensive side to lead to some success.
Absolutely. But what do you want to call here if you're Boston? Do you try to do something like you did on Rio, try to get aggressive somewhere, try to force LA to put together a response, not let them get all this opening utility, but instead it's Boston kind of sitting back. But once again, this little bounce pass nade from Joe to Thieves lands. Nades are starting to get cooked up, but another tag out. But largely speaking, everyone's still alive for Boston's good news.
And this is wasting a lot of time. Like if you're Boston Breach, we have to try to contest somewhat over towards that B Street side because we know how difficult it is to work this objective over towards A. That bomb is in the middle of everywhere. You can spot it from so many different positions. And all this time that they're racing over at blue, eventually you know the rotation is going to come over back over at that B site. And Jodeci's at 14 HP just simply has to play his life now.
Late lethals almost find the kill, but Boston, this late execute works out nearly flawlessly. Ghosty, last one alive on 3 in a row. Able to tally up 1 before having to essentially bail out, and you may consider the opportunity of maybe even conceding this, although if he gets around the back through ladder, this is the only thing that Boston aren't watching. Is there a chance? No. Pentagram able to sniff him out, find the kill, and a much needed round goes the way of the breach.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there from Boston. They immediately apply pressure over towards that B site. You had a nade hit onto Jodeci, so you know that he's weak, but he's not the only player in towards bottom pit for LA. Able to find all 3 kills on that side of the map, put yourself in the advantage, and then eventually put that objective down. Pentagram gets a read onto Ghosty as well. First blood there in favor of Boston Breach. They secure the round.
This is an important one right here. If you're Boston, from the defensive side, can you stall out what has been a lot of success around the objective for LA already to this point? You don't want that trend to continue. But what do you call? How do you set this up? Double stack right over the top of A here for Boston. Maybe looking to get some blue control or heli control quickly. Stun will land at a Joe to Thieves, and yep, Pentagram will find first blood from the heli stairs.
That's a big first blood right there. I thought it was going to be only Beans watching over towards that B Street side, but Pentagram puts himself in the crossfire setup, able to find the first blood for Boston. So now all you have to do is just play for some info, because you have the man advantage, and then just simply hit out one way and trade effectively.
Thieves still trying to get a look over towards this B site. Trying that mid map. Joe doing some work over towards B itself to try to isolate Beans deep, but no, Priesta a little bit deeper, unexpected, and as Joe drops, now it's a 4v2. Boston looking comfortable here on this defense.
Now with 40 seconds left, Kremp and Nasty stuck between a rock and a hard place. You have to work this objective, but that bomb is still sitting over comfortably at that helipad steps. With only 30 seconds remaining, Priesta throwing shoulders, gaining the info. 83 HP left on Kremp. He has to try to play his life, but Nasty, we had to try to work this objective.
They're trying to isolate onto somebody. Initially it's Priesta, now it's Snoopy. Kill comes through. Do they get the read of the long flanker? No, not gonna happen. And yeah, the early numbers advantage off that angle from Priesta, or from Pentagram. That works out beautifully. You get full control over towards Heli. Not an option anywhere on the map for the Thieves.
And this has been a battle of the first bloods. Whoever finds that first kill has won the round at the very end. All tied up at 3 in that column. Now we're all tied up in 3 in the scoreboard. Who's going to try to pull away in this search and destroy? It's now Boston Breach back on the attacking side. I think this is where you just show a completely different strategy. Sure. It's been every single round. You're sending both SMG players through bottom blue. How about we send multiple players over towards B Street side, start off those fights, and if we come out on top, it's an easy round win.
3 players quickly for Boston. Over towards blue side, though. Stun over the top. Snoopy down low, but bomb again. Left behind as Priesta will track back after throwing maybe a nade or 2 over towards B. And this is going to have to be, again, some concentrated hit for Boston. They'd have no information on B Street again.
And this is way more aggressive from LA because you already have players pushed up on that B Street side. Kremp is just trying to work his way around the pinch. He is going to put down a couple shots, so positioning now known for Boston. Can they try to isolate him? No, he's going to work his way back over to the elevator side, and just him being in that position now puts Boston Breach in a very peculiar situation because you cannot wrap back over towards B Street.
You have to find some sort of either hard focus hit towards A or try to isolate. The only player to really get any sort of success going is Pentagram here in the round. On 5 in a row, a cruise missile could be huge. Oh, he just drops the sight just as soon as Kremp takes the challenge. So the opportunity for the cruise missile goes awry. Ben's last one left, and well, defend is going to be completely overwhelmed again. So LA still just full map focus, just going their way in the first 5 seconds.
They're just trapping themselves. That's exactly what Boston are doing. They're also dropping the bomb in the back of their spawn, thinking that, all right, we're going to send 3 players over towards Brew. We're going to try to get aggressive, but those stuns are coming in. It's slowing down that push, and then by the time that play gets shut down, you have no opportunity to work your way back over to the B Street. If you're Boston Breach, we have to contest that side of the map because that's basically how you shut down all of High Rise.
Yeah, absolutely. It just feels like, again, not the same type of level of focus that we often see from our top teams on a map like High Rise, but still keeping it close, staying around in it. First blood conversion has not been great for Boston historically, but so far it's been good for them. So that looks like the game plan. Let's just play for picks, it feels like.
You know, filling it on a Game 5 on the main stage. Some people's first opportunity to play as a professional in the big lights. Probably not going to make all the confident plays that you make online, but you have to try to rally the troops and bring it together here. It's already been 30 seconds wiped off the game clock. LAT getting a lot of info early on, and Ghosty finds another first blood onto Beans over towards the B Street, so B's wide open.
And that's just an island player. Like, you really cannot allow first blood to go the way of the solo player on one side of the map. Although, look at this, Boston are actually reading this wrap back over towards A pretty nicely, but not able to get enough defenders in the right spot. So now it's just down to Pentagram around the back. First shots are decent, but it was Thieves sneaking in towards that back. Shack stays alive, and with that, Thieves make themselves onto match point.
And that's good stuff from Boston Breach early on the defense, is contesting over towards the B Street, but Beans cannot afford to die in that scenario.
Yeah.
Because now you're putting players on your team to change their setup. Someone now has to pick up towards B Street. We also have to put our focus on Blue and as well on bottom pit. Just too many angles that you have to watch when you get picked off early on a map like High Rise. Now sets up Thieves for game point.
Not what you want to see if you're a Boston fan, because now that 1 in 10 in game 5 starts to really be put in the forefront of your mind. Thieves, once again, similar setup. Nasty, the sole defender over towards A. No one for Boston even looking down B Street. Priestley gonna grab the bomb and join again. The same 3-stack over towards A, where, I mean, you've got Kremp at mid getting a lot of intel. This just feels like, again, the map is just all Thieves.
That's exactly what it is. Boston Breach have not made the adjustments on their attacking side, but at least they're slowly working their way up through bottom pit. But this has been an easy read every single time for LA on what they're trying to execute on their attacking side. Joe Deceased already finds himself in a great position to shut down that objective.
Keep an eye on Snoopy. Ghosty, has he seen him? Sure feels that way. Pentagram down low. And yep, they absolutely know that Snoopy's here. And again, it's just, it kind of feels like the round 11 again. Like, Snoopy's going to go forward, and the rest of the team just leaves him out there.
Back out.
Not great news here. 3v4 has to come through if you're Boston.
35 seconds. Joe Deceased still here to contest over towards this B site. And that time is starting to get away from Boston. They know that they have to work the objective, but the timing might work out to perfection. You're able to take down Joe. Now you can get that bomb planted.
Wrap from Ghosty, though. Pistol out. Finds the kill, but the bomb does get planted. Just does not confirm the kill fast enough. So now the 2v2. Boston playing their post plan a bit split. Pentagram on one side, Bean still holding close. Nasty has read that there's nothing came down B Street yet. Ghosty now has to come through as Pentagram gets tagged. Nasty off the shoulder. They can't find the Boston post point defenders. The rewrap starting to come back for Boston. No one from Thieves can tally the intel they need. Time is starting to become an issue. Beans gets a read up top, but they can't find the kills. And Beans can't believe it. Boston continues to have absolutely no ice in map 5. And Joe will send them away with a hefty wave. And that's not good. Boston needed points badly here in this tournament.
They definitely needed points, my friend. They were sitting at 50 before this match started, and unfortunately, that's now 3 majors in a row where they're gonna fall short, not earn any points on land. And now it's only way more difficult for Boston Breach to find a way in towards champs.
Yep.
That's just tough, man. Like, you played the map so many times throughout Major 3 qualifiers. You should understand what you need to do. If you're not contesting over towards that B Street side on your attacking rounds, you're giving up all map control every single time to LA. And they did not lose full on any of those situations. They took full advantage of everything that they were giving them. And even plus that, like, you're pushing up through the flank now. Like, they're just taking more space because Boston Breach simply did not send anyone on that side of the map. LAT took full advantage of it. They were able to close out the series in 5. They're actually the first team to walk away with a land win on the season compared between both of these teams, and they get it done all the way in the iciest moments.
And appropriately so, the Thieves can find a way to continue to build on what has been a very successful search and destroy for them. 12-5 in overall round count between the two maps. And on top of that, you also all of a sudden have a Subbase win, which I'm sure feels